Macros, Mindset, and Muscles.
I'm Coach James.
And I'm Coach Brittany.
We're here to give you the truth about health and fitness.
No gimmicks, no bullshit, just facts.
Welcome back, Phoenix fam.
Welcome back.
Whoa, dude.
Celsius just hit.
Extremely loud.
Oh, I thought it was the caffeine.
No, I don't think it was the caffeine. Anyways, okay, here we are again. Another awesome day. I don't know what it's like when you're listening to this, but it's been pretty freaking hot here in Memphis.
It's so hot.
The heat index is over 100 degrees easily. I don't know. I'm avoiding going outside, and I honestly have no desire to go outside right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad time because sometimes I like to just go into the gym and just sit there and have the door open and, a little breeze and hearing birds and dogs and like my little, I don't know, little serenity place. And it's not right now. It's a oven.
Yeah, it's definitely like an oven in there, warm. And I like going out and sitting in the sun, but also I have a limit to that.
Yeah.
And my limit is 90 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything my body says stay out of the extreme heat unless you're getting paid to do it.
Unless you're getting paid to be in the
If
heat.
you're getting paid, you're like, it's all right.
Good money.
Yeah, good money.
Yeah, not some bullshit.
Blue collar stuff.
All right, so I can bet y'all can guess what we're going to say next.
We're about to tell you the secret to losing belly fat.
That's not what I was going to say. I was going to be we're going to say we have an awesome topic for y'all today.
That was totally wrong. That was way off. Well, I mean,
leave it to you. Just give ahead.
Well, I mean, they read the title right before they clicked on it. It's not like a big surprise.
I know, but sometimes they don't listen to the topic. Maybe they just listen to what's next. I don't know. I don't know how that.
I know, but they're tuning in.
I mean, when I listen to Crime Junkie on a binge, I'm not looking at the title of the episode. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
So
what? That's the topic.
All right. So, as James just said, we're going to tell you all about how to lose belly fat today. We know this is what you want. Everybody.
This is it.
Almost everybody wants to lose belly fat. Not everybody needs to. But a lot of people have desire to lose fat around their midsection, especially my peri and postmenopausal ladies, okay? So when you start going through menopause as a woman, your body fat storage shifts. So you start storing more body fat around your organs and stuff. This is your visceral fat. So that's why you think that your stomach, you're gaining more body fat. And in ways, yes, you may be, but also your body fat distribution is just changing.
Right.
And it happens with men too. When you start getting into middle age, you just start storing more fat in the midsection. Yeah. But this is a common complaint that we hear against our mature ladies. So let's talk about fat loss as a whole, right? How does fat loss occur? Well, fat loss occurs from eating in a calorie deficit.
What?
And we can say this till we're blue in the face. A calorie deficit can be done through intermittent fasting, keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Atkins, whatever you choose to follow. Vegan, the way that those things work, the way that those diet trends work is by reducing the overall amount of calories you take in, right? So your caloric intake. In order to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. If you are gaining weight, you are not in a caloric deficit. You are in a surplus. If you are maintaining, that means that your weight stays the same week after week on average. A lot of people say that they're maintaining when really they're not. Yeah. They're losing at a small rate. They're just not looking at their average.
That's because it's not measured.
Yeah. So, if you're truly maintaining, then you're eating at maintenance level. Now, in order to lose fat, you got to be eating less calories. You got to be burning more calories than you take in.
Correct.
I always have to double think that. Am I saying that right? Anyways.
Your output has to be more than your input.
Yeah, exactly. So the way that you create, a higher output is through eating less and moving more. I hate say eat less, move more. But in terms of movement, we're talking daily movement, not necessarily go to the gym for 3 hours a day, 2 days or 2 times a day for 6 days a week. It's just moving more in your daily life, increasing your overall energy output, more fidgeting, more walking, more doing stuff around the house, in the garden, in the yard, like whatever that looks like for you. It's just doing more in general. So one of the common things that we hear a lot is like, how can I target belly fat?
Hmm. Well, there's special supplements that you put on that area, and then the belly fat just melts away.
It just melts.
It just melts away, and really, you can just do that in any body part, any area. So, like, you have like one thicker calf, you can just put on one calf, and you'll lose the fat in just that one calf.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
He's
This is
totally
total bullshit.
joking for those of you who are listening. Totally joking.
Totally joking.
You actually can't spot reduce fat. So all those videos you see from your favorite influencers or this person or a video that has like 100,000 likes or whatever, and it's like, here's how to burn belly fat or here's how to target it. And they're saying like, do the mini fucking stair. That thing's the bane of my existence.
The mini stepper.
The mini
thing?
stepper.
I hate that thing.
I've talked about it so many times because I see the most toxic ass fucking videos with that mini stepper on fucking TikTok. It's great. I'm not knocking it for increasing your movement, but it's not going to target your booty. It's not going to make your booty more firm. You're not going to build more muscle doing this in your ass. Like,
I'm not really sure like what all you're going to. I mean, other than the movement,
steps.
like that's all it's going to target. Like, I mean, your calves don't even get involved with that little thing. Like, you're just
I
gonna.
think your calves get involved.
I don't know, man.
I would
It's
just
such a
compare
low.
it to stepping is what it is. Like
Yeah,
marching in place.
The range of motion for it's so light. It's just like slight knee flexion, slight extension, slight like it's just very anyway.
Yeah. So, you see all these videos and it's like how to target this. And guess what? You're captured immediately and you're already wanting to buy into whatever it is they're fucking selling because you're like, oh, I hate my stomach. I want to lose fat in my stomach. I wish my stomach were smaller. I wish it were flatter. I wish I had abs. You do have abs. They're just hidden by a layer of body fat.
Yeah.
And that's most people. Everybody has abs. Just how defined they are depends on how lean you get. And to get to that level of leanness is a whole other story that we're not even going to get into today. But you have to, eat in a deficit over time and lose body fat. The places that you hold the most body fat, aka your stomach, your
Yep.
midsection, your hips, your thighs, you're going to hold in those areas longer, right? You have more fat to lose in those areas. So most people will slim down from the top down, right? So like you're going to start seeing results in your neck, in your face, and your shoulders, and your arms. And ladies, in your boobs, like the
Yeah.
boobs are always one of the first things to go. You will slim from the top down 99% of the time. Like,
For
of course,
the most part, yeah.
there are some people that are different, but when you like, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I want to lose my stomach. Like, I'm losing everywhere else, or I hold fat in my lower body, or this is where most of my fat is." It's like it's just where your fat distribution is. Like every person's different. And it's going to take that much longer for your journey to see the results that you have in your head.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a huge level of sacrifice that comes with that too. But again, that's another topic. So how can we eat? How can we lose fat with our diet? Right? We talked about eating in a deficit. And I think the mistake a lot of people make is they're like, oh, well, I'm not eating that much. So I don't understand why I'm not losing. And eating that much, might be like we kind of talked about before, salads, right? Like they're eating a big salad, but the salad has like 1,500 calories in it. And then they're still eating, another 1 to 2 heavy meals. So just from that alone, like you're going over your calorie intake, or maybe you're even just having a fancy coffee from Starbucks and a big salad at lunch, and that's your meal for the day. You're probably consuming over 2,000 calories easy. If it's just like a salad, like you don't customize it, minimize the fat content, things like that. If you're just ordering as it comes, like a Cobb salad with a creamy dressing, like you're hitting a lot of calories.
Or somebody's having sodas, with their meal or throughout the day, and they're not tracking that, and those calories add up quite quickly.
So the best way to eat for fat loss is to prioritize protein first and foremost. We can't stress the importance of protein enough. The recommended daily amount is not enough. You need to eat more. 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight is ideal for most people. There will be circumstances where it's different. People who are, athletes or have a higher demand, like because their muscle,
Yeah, their
breaks
muscle
down.
mass.
Yeah.
They have a higher muscle mass.
So definitely eat more protein. It helps you feel full longer. It helps you recover. It supports your muscle maintenance when you're in a deficit. So you want to maintain as much muscle as possible in a deficit. You don't want to lose weight and it be mostly muscle. You want it to be fat. Muscle keeps you healthy for the long run. You want to incorporate some healthy fats, but again, not overdo it because fats are one of those things that you can eat a very little amount and get a lot of calories from. So keeping in mind, like when you're choosing your protein sources, to choose leaner sources if you plan on adding fats into your meals. Fats, nuts, avocados, oil, butter, um, things like that. You want to keep your proteins leaner so you can add in those fats where you want them. You definitely want to have a lot of fiber in your diet. Again, fiber is one of those things that help you feel full as well, because fiber like expands in your stomach. It helps support your gut health, and you can eat a lot of like volume with some fiber-rich foods. Think like a big salad with dressed appropriately, like not, dressed inappropriately.
With vegetables
Yeah.
in the salads.
So green beans is another high volume, like veggie, asparagus. There's a lot of different foods that you can eat. You can get a lot of volume for very little calories. Get all the yummy micronutrients too. Also, when you're in a fat loss phase, trying to limit and reduce the amount of processed foods and sugary foods that you eat, not because these things are inherently bad, but because when you eat these things, you're actually more likely to have cravings. And when you're in a deficit, you're naturally already hungry. Like that's your body. It's a normal response for you to feel hunger when you're in a deficit. So limiting these things, I'm not saying cut them out completely. I'm just saying limiting them so it's more of a not the norm. You're eating 80% of the other stuff and maybe 20% of the fun stuff. And that will help with cravings. You have
Yes.
anything?
Oh no, it's just all that processed food. They're very calorie dense. Even the things that you would assume would be on the leaner side or would not have certain things in they do because it serves as preservatives or added flavor and things like that. You're eating, even if it's something as simple as like a protein bar, you're going to be adding in carbs as well, and then there's fats in there, and then um, processed food just you know
You don't
eating.
get as much bang for your buck with
No,
processed
because
food.
I'd rather get more whole food and feel more full than some processed food, and I'm giving away all my fat for just convenient, really.
Next thing is you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Your body needs water, your body needs fluids. If you're not drinking enough fluids, you're more likely to hold on to water weight, which is funny. Like you drink more water to hold less water.
Mm.
Um, Plus, it just supports digestion, good skin, all
Bowel
that good
movements.
stuff. I would fall under digestion.
Yeah. Well, I always like to point that one out directly, not even have it under the umbrella. Like, no, you're gonna poop better if you're drinking a lot of water.
So moving on, you also want to make sure that exercise is a regular part of your regimen. It shouldn't be the main focus. I'm not saying it doesn't have its place, but you actually don't exercise to lose fat. You exercise so that your body is strong. You support a strong, healthy heart, you build muscle, and you just improve your overall strength for the length of your life. Exercise is only responsible for a small portion of your calorie burn throughout the day. You actually burn more calories just existing than you do in the gym. So I think it's important to note that like you don't have to be in the gym 5 days a week to lose fat successfully. Like you just need to have a solid routine and increase your like daily movement, which we'll get to. Cardio is good for heart health. It shouldn't be like the main focus of your like the whole purpose of your existence is cardio. I'm not saying don't ever do cardio, definitely for heart health, but you want to have a balanced routine with strength training and cardio. You don't have to lose a bunch of weight before you start strength training. You should strength train while you're losing fat. Building muscle will help increase metabolism.
Well, I mean, like, there's not really a room for me to to say anything. I mean, you're kind of rolling through it. Yeah, I mean, increased muscle mass is going to increase your metabolism, which is going to allow you to eat more, burn faster, burn more at rest. Muscle's your friend.
Muscle is your friend.
Muscle is your friend.
Yep. It's like the organ of life.
Protein is your friend. Having muscle is your friend. Sleep is your friend.
Yep. Which we're going to get to that next. But one of the things I want to touch on before we move on from workouts is, stop doing 500 sit-ups a day thinking that it's going to make your stomach thinner. It's not. Actually, it's going to do the opposite because you're building muscle when you do ab work, right? And I'm not saying don't do ab work, so don't take it for that. But when you do ab work, you are building muscle underneath that layer of fat that you already have. If you're building your muscle and your muscle's getting bigger, what do you think is going to happen to your waistline?
You get thick.
It's going to expand, right?
Yeah.
So, don't put so much focus on your core work. Definitely include some core work and include some like big compound lifts because you are using your core in all of that.
Yeah, you should definitely be doing, some core, and you can do it indirectly, like she was mentioning, with compound lift because you're engaging your core. But if you're doing just endless crunches and abs, thinking you're going to get rid of your belly fat or stomach just from doing abs and leg raises, I mean, it's not going to happen. You're just going to have a stronger core with a belly and belly fat still.
Yep. So moving on, James, you want to talk about sleep?
Sleep is very important.
That's all you got?
Yeah, sleep is your friend.
We've kind of talked about this before, the basics, right, of fat loss. And if you're not mastering the basics, you're going to have a really hard time seeing results because you're fighting against all these things that your body wants. If you're not getting enough sleep and you're constantly in like a sleep debt, it's really hard for your body to recover. It can interfere with your performance, your brain, like your cognitive function, hormonal function,
your digestion,
all of that stuff.
Everything. Your recovery.
Mhm.
I mean, sleep is your best natural diuretic too when it comes to like water retention. I mean, when you go without sleep, your cortisol levels raise, and actually, you're holding more water. Your body is stressed. It's not recovering. It's in just survival mode when you're not resting.
So get enough sleep. Also adding on to that, when you're not sleeping enough and everything starts compounding, your stress rises. Like it is really hard to get to a place when you're extremely stressed out all the time. Managing stress is part of this journey too. And, working on mindfulness, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. What do you? I mean, sleep is super important. I mean, mindfulness and managing your stress is the big goal. I mean, exercise and stuff should be a stress reducer. You're getting those feel good endorphins. You're, expelling excess energy. You're using your body for what it's made for movement. And then you recover at night, and then you come back and you do it again, but you're stronger. And to be successful in any kind of transformation or journey, you need to work a program. That's the difference between a program and a workout. Is a program is going to include like all the aspects of your life. So like not just working out, but what you put in your body, how you sleep, your water,
How you take care of yourself.
how you take care of yourself as a whole, to get the best result and to be your healthiest and best version.
Love that. Beautifully put, James.
Hey, I read on something somewhere.
So the last thing I really wanted to talk about today was alcohol, because this is such a big thing. It's a very normal part of life. And James or I don't drink anymore. Like it's been years. We're sober. That's how we choose to live. So if you drink, that's between you and yourself. But the truth is that alcohol will impact your fat loss. You can still lose fat when you're drinking alcohol, but it's just going to make it that much harder because your body does recognize alcohol as a poison. So when you consume alcohol, your body wants to metabolize it quicker to get it out of your body. So the other stuff that you consume kind of like takes the back end, you don't utilize those nutrients as effectively because your body is focused on getting rid of the poison in the body.
Yeah, protein synthesis drops down to, I believe it's 30% of what it normally is. So, like, say you went out and you worked out really hard and you went out that night and drank heavily. The muscle that you just worked out and were hoping to grow and come back stronger, going to be hindered by that alcohol that you consumed.
And, alcohol also adds a bunch of extra calories that most people just don't account for. So if you're struggling to lose fat, just know that like 1 gram of alcohol has 7 calories, roughly 7 calories. That's up there with fat almost. So protein and carbs is 1 gram is 4 calories. Fat is 9 calories for 1 gram. And then you have alcohol in the middle of all that at 7. So if you're hitting, your calorie intake during the day, and then you go out drinking at night and you're consuming all those extra calories, what do you think is happening? Like the result isn't the alcohol itself, like the effect.
Processes.
It's the amount of calories that you're consuming over that's really the cause of your fat storage when you're drinking.
Well, yeah, and it's you hinder your decision making too when you're drinking. So you start craving for like fatty, um, Waffle House, bar food, things like
Taco
that.
Bell.
And then so like after consumption, you eat very high fat, maybe fried foods, those kinds of things. Well, then it gets to the next morning. You probably didn't sleep too well because whatever, because the alcohol. Next day, your movement's going to be down because your body doesn't feel that great. It's trying to flush out these toxins out of your body. So your movement's down. You end up still craving convenience foods, and it snowballs. And so it's not necessarily just the calories from the alcohol. It's the calories after the alcohol and the lack of movement plus convenience food calories the following day.
Yeah, it's just a trifecta.
Yeah, it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, of things that domino effect.
It
Like
is.
one thing after another, and as a result, your movement is down the next day. You might feel sick or whatever. Now your body's trying to like recover from the sickness, and
You're trying to rehydrate.
yeah, it's like it's a mess. So if you're a drinker, like just know like it's okay, but also understand that it's something that you need to look at within yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
Based on your results. Like, how bad do you want the results? And, like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get those results?
and if you're not willing to, be honest with yourself, be like, I'm not willing to give up drinking as much as I do now. The results are not that important.
Yeah.
Then that's a decision you make, and that's fine. But like, just be honest with yourself, like, because if every action has a reaction, there's a cost for everything that you do, like in every aspect of it. Like, you don't go to bed early, you feel like crap the next day. You eat this type of food, you may feel this kind of way. Drink, this is going to happen. So, don't, if you do choose to do those things and to drink on a regular basis, understand that your progress is going to be hindered. It could be slowed, and if not stalled, or go the opposite direction, depending on how adherent you are to the other aspects of your program.
Yep.
So,
And I think that's a big point to bring up is adherence and consistency. So, if you're drinking, on the weekends, once a week or whatever, then being on top of your shit the rest of the week, that might be your 80% is the whole rest of the week. And that 20% is at night you go out drinking. And, being on top of it can help you kind of balance that out. But if you're like, Monday tracked perfectly, everything went great. Tuesday, I missed this one thing. Wednesday, and as the week goes on, you fall off and off and off. And then really you're only adherent one day.
yeah,
Like, that's the real problem here.
yeah,
Your results come from what you do consistently. You can't get results if you don't change the way you're currently living.
100%, 100%. Because, like you said, you would need to be 100% during the week to even account for like what possibly could happen, on the weekend if that's what you choose to do. But the reality is, a lot of the times someone's not as consistent. If they're how they do one thing is how they do a lot of things, a lot of times. And so but if you were able to be 100%, you could try to minimize the damage and be in more of a calorie deficit through the week, and then have more leniency on the weekend. And that's still rolling the dice because you don't know how wild somebody may get.
Yep. I think sitting down and having that conversation with yourself, get a pen and paper and be like, okay, what are things that I'm doing that are maybe holding me back from my result? Which of these things am I willing to eliminate or cut back on?
Yeah.
And like, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, because your results are a reflection of your lifestyle. And if you continue to drink all the time, or even if you eat out multiple times a day, several days a week, like all those things add up, and it makes a difference in your results. And especially like trying to shrink your waist. Your waist isn't going to shrink until everything else does.
Yeah.
It'll be the last place that you see the results. Not that it's not, not that you're not losing fat in that area. It's just not as noticeable because you have more.
Yeah. And I think something too, like to really like point out is when we refer to drinking, you don't have to be shit faced. That's not what we're referring to. Like consuming alcohol.
Yeah.
Like,
A glass of wine, a beer.
So like say you're coming home from work every single day, every day when you get off work, like your habit is to drink, a tall boy or 2 glasses of wine or whatever that is. You're keeping this cycle going. If you're doing that every day, like your body's net is always trying to flush this stuff out, and it's always prioritizing that over metabolizing what you already have in your body. It's gonna be storing everything. Like we're not saying you're going out on an all night bender, and that's why like it's just the small daily consumption.
It's your daily habits.
It's a daily habit.
So your daily habits, what you do consistently, is what results you'll bring.
Oh.
So this isn't about, again, we're not here to be like, don't ever drink. Like that's our choice. We do not push that onto any of our clients. We try to support them in the best way that we know how, when that is a thing, like for them, if they're social drinkers or whatever. But just understanding how it impacts your goals and how your choices impact your goals is a very important like truth that you need to have with yourself. And, if you don't want to give up drinking, being able to say like, okay, I want those results, but I also don't want to do this right now. So maybe now is not the best time.
Right.
And reassessing, stepping back, like taking a bigger look, like what are you willing to do? And kind of meet yourself realistically with some expectations on results.
Yeah. I mean, I know we went in heavy like on alcohol, but everything we were talking about with alcohol could be substitutive toward anything else, like whether that's not tracking food or not being consistent in the gym. It's the daily habit of inconsistency and it not being able to be managed, and how it snowballs that effect. Just alcohol is very, I don't know, it's easy to really explain the process.
Something, this is totally not related necessarily, but it is about alcohol. It is the like most socially acceptable drug type of thing to do. If you go snort a line of Coke, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Like you're a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. But if you go get shit-faced drunk and act a fucking fool, everyone thinks you're funny. Or, if you go out and you're not drinking, like, why aren't you drinking? Like, just have one drink. It's just one drink, like people find that acceptable. But if you had an addict with you and you were doing something, would you be doing the same thing? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not a different concept. Like someone says they don't want to do something. That's like high school shit, peer pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't want to drink, I don't have to explain myself to you why I don't want to drink. And neither do any of your friends who don't want to drink. If I want to bring a meal to a social gathering, that's my fucking choice. And it's none of food. Yeah, like I don't have to explain my decision to you. I don't ask you, why you go eat fucking McDonald's 3 times a day.
Mm. It is like it's the only thing that, if you don't do, people think you're weird.
Yeah. I don't know why I just got so heated just talking
No, but
about that.
I mean, I get it too. It's like,
And it's just like,
oh no, I don't drink. They're like, what?
yeah, and it's like a double
Why wouldn't
standard
you?
type thing, right? Like you can't like you're weird for doing healthy things like, watching your food intake, eating protein, working out regularly, walking, not drinking, things like that. But if you called out those other things that weren't healthy, like you would be a shit person.
Yeah.
And it's just like the whole like thin and fat controversy, deal um like calling a thin person like, "Oh, I wish I was as thin as you," like
And we're self conscious about
that
being thin.
yeah, for a naturally thin person, like that's no different than someone telling, like my former self, like, "Oh, you would be a lot prettier if you were skinny."
Yeah.
Like you're really it's disrespectful and it's a double standard. And this isn't even related to this episode, but it just kind of went there.
No, but I mean, I 100% understand, like with the drinking thing. And
It makes it hard for people to stop drinking
yeah, it's
because
available everywhere. You can't even get gas without it's right there, and it's
yeah,
part of um, every social event as an adult. It's encouraged or like expected.
yeah,
Sporting events, things like that.
mhm,
And back when I was drinking, there was a lot of things like I would do and like take part of, and like people I would hang around. And when I stopped drinking, I was like, I don't want to do any of that. Like I don't, some guys like ball games and stuff. I don't. Like, turns out I just like drinking back then. Like I had no desire to watch games. Like it, and I don't know. Like
yeah. I think it's a hard thing though because alcohol, like you said, it's just so socially acceptable. And like, are you going to give up your social life because you don't want to be around drinking?
yeah,
Most people aren't. Like, I mean, we did. Like,
yeah.
I don't really go to things
I don't
that
have social life.
yeah, I don't really go to things that have alcohol. Like when we have get-togethers at the house, like they're kid friendly. I don't want a bunch of drunk ass fucking adults around, kids. Like again, whatever people
Whatever
tend
you
to
do at
do
home, you do
is
at home.
fine. But like in my home, like we don't drink. We don't keep alcohol in the house. We don't even have cough syrup.
Yeah.
Like
You were talking about like eating healthy and how that people look at that weird. It's like that thing. It's like how eating today is so unhealthy that when you tell somebody that, or when you refer to eating clean or eating just whole foods,
they
it's
assume you're on a
considered
diet.
a diet.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about eating protein, carbs, and stuff, it's a diet. Like
Yeah.
no, this is just how you're supposed to eat. Like this is what we were designed to eat.
Yep.
Sorry,
So
tangent. Little.
we hope that this helps you understand a little bit about fat loss and maybe clear up some myths surrounding the social media content that you might see about targeting belly fat. Not possible. You can't target it. You can do 500 setups a day. You're not going to make your belly lose more fat. Like you just have to eat in a deficit consistently over time. And eventually, like your stomach will get there, but it does take a lot of time, a
Yeah.
lot longer than you realize.
Yeah, it's the same thing with men as well. And our big target or problem areas like our low back. That's our last place we lose fat. So you get super lean and you still got it right there. You're like back fat.
We hope that you guys like this episode and you obviously leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to join the Facebook group if you're not already in it and you're a woman on Facebook, Macros, Mindset, and Muscles for Women. It's linked in the show notes. We also have our website where you can sign up for our coaching, learn about our services, things like that. And of course, if you want to use the supplements that we use, we have Legion Athletics as our sponsor. You can use code Phoenix at checkout to save 20% on your first order and earn double rewards on all of your future orders. And let me tell you, those reward points add up big.
Super fast.
One thing that I recommend for everyone if you're lifting is creatine. So, if you're lifting right now and you're not taking creatine, it's a very beneficial supplement. Like you can take it for strength increases, gains, and also to improve cognitive function.
Yeah, they're really diving into using it now with Alzheimer's, like doing research for Alzheimer's. So
Yeah.
everybody should be on it.
So definitely pick you up some creatine with the Legion code Phoenix. Check out Recharge. My favorite flavor is probably strawberry kiwi.
Oh, you just stole that from me because I said it earlier.
It's the best flavor.
It is the best.
The strawberry lemonade, I like that one. James hates lemonade. but I like that too. They also just came out with a creatine standalone product. It's micronized creatine and it's unflavored. So if that's your jam too, and you just want to mix it in with a protein shake or whatever, like that's there for you. So we hope you find this episode helpful, and don't forget to follow and give us a rating and review.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Macros, Mindset, and Muscles. Until next time,
I'm James.
I'm Brittany. We're out.